Hi, virtual learners, and today we're going to continue talking about weather, but we're going to focus more on fronts. So let's go ahead and look at our vocabulary words for today. Our first word is front. A front is where a warm and a cold air mass meet. So we've talked about air masses. They are a large body of air that has the same temperature. So we talked about there can be a cold air mass, there can be a warm air mass, and a front is where they come together. But we'll learn that in different fronts, they come together in different ways. For example, in a cold front, the cold air moves under the warm air and it pushes the warm air up. Okay, so the cold air is coming in, pushing the warm air up. It can produce thunderstorms, heavy rain, or even snow. Okay, and here at the cold front, we can see that the temperatures behind the front are a lot cooler than the ones that were before the front. So after the front has passed, we're going to have cooler temperatures. The next front we're going to learn about is a warm front. And a warm front is when warm air moves over cold front. It kind of falls down on the cold air, like folds over it and makes it warm air too. So it's going to bring us drizzly light rain, and it's going to be followed by some clear and warm weather. So here we can see our picture of the warm air coming through, and after the warm front, because the warm front's going this way, after the warm front, we have slightly warmer temperatures than we had over here. The last type of front we're going to talk about is a stationary front. And a stationary front is when a warm air mass and a cold air mass meet, but there is no movement. So there is not enough force to push the other one out of the way. And usually with a stationary front, we're going to get a few days of rain until the front passes. We're going to talk about that in just a few seconds. So I'm going to share my document camera with you, and we're going to take some notes together about the three types of fronts that we are talking about. So first, we're going to start with the cold front. So make sure you have your paper out. And of course, the title of this is going to be Cold Front. Right, so we talked about a cold front symbol before. It looks like this. So it's a line with some triangles. Remember, it's represented by the color blue. So the line and the triangles are blue. So if you're drawing this at home, make sure you're using the right color. It looks like this. This is what our cold front is represented by on a weather map. Okay, so we know that we have the cold air coming in. Here's our cold air mass. And we also have the warm air mass coming in, but then it gets pushed upwards. It's coming in like this, but then pushed upwards by the cold air. It's pushed up. So let's label this. It's our warm air mass. Okay, so this is how a cold front forms. Now, at a cold front, so when the cold front is coming over an area, it's going to bring high winds. So we're going to draw a representation of some winds. Maybe like some squigglies. So high winds. It's going to bring us some storms. So we could draw maybe like a storm cloud with some rain coming out. This is going to bring us storms. Cold fronts could even bring us tornadoes. And usually with cold fronts, we see cumulus clouds. So remember, we just learned about those yesterday. Those are those storm clouds. that bring us stormy weather. So it brings us the cumulonimbus clouds. Those are the tall, towering clouds, cumulonimbus. Okay, so this is all that's going to happen at the cold front. Okay, so it's the warm air being pushed up by the cold air. We're going to see some stormy weather. But what about after it passes? So after the storm, we're going to see temperatures decreasing and cool, dry air. Okay, so pause the video if you need to finish your notes on cold front. Okay, so we are going to move on to a warm front. So remember, cold front's going to bring us very stormy weather. Let's see about a warm front. All right, so a warm front, we remember, is represented on the map by a red line and some red half circles. So let's draw that symbol together. Yeah, and so we talked about when a warm front happens, the warm air mass folds over the cold air mass. So here's our warm air mass. And then here is our cold air mass. And notice that they're both going towards the same direction in our picture here. Okay, so the warm air is just coming and folding over the cold air mass and going to bring us warm temperatures. So at the warm front, we're going to have showers. So showers of rain. We can draw this by making a storm cloud and putting some rain with it. And we're also going to have stratus clouds. Remember, stratus clouds are the low clouds that look like fog. All right, so we're going to have some stratus clouds. All right, so at the warm front, we're going to have showers of rain, stratus clouds. We're also going to have warmer temperatures. But what about after the warm front passes? So after the front, temperatures are going to increase. So that means they're going to go up. It's going to be warmer. And we're going to have warmer, wetter weather. So the air is warmer and wetter. So when the air is warm and wet, it is also humid. Remember, humidity was one of our vocabulary words. That means there's a lot of moisture in the air. Okay, so make sure that you have paused the video if you need to and copy down your notes on warm front. We have one more front to do today. Okay, so I'm going to move on, and our last front is a stationary front. Okay, so a stationary front is when a cold air mass and a warm air mass come together, but they can't push each other out of the way. They don't have enough force. So, and we know that the stationary front is represented by a line that has blue triangles on one side and red half circles on another. So let's draw that. Remember, it doesn't matter quite what color you make the line, just as long as we get the triangles and the half circles the right color. So blue triangles on one side, red half circles on the other. Okay, so here in our stationary front, we have the cold air mass coming in and then from this side, we may have the warm air mass coming through. So they are meeting here at the front, but they can't push each other out of the way. They don't have enough force. So what are we going to get? We're going to get rain. We're going to get some pretty steady rain. So we'll draw a cloud again with some rain coming out of it. And when I say steady rain, that means rain that's not going to give up easily. Okay, so it's going to keep raining and raining and raining. It's probably going to rain for a few days until the front passes. So it's kind of very similar to that warm front where it rains a few days and then we get some clear air. Okay, so, but what about after the front? So at the front, we're getting stormy, rainy weather. Okay, so steady rain, but after the front, when it passes, it's going to clear up. So we're going to have many days of rain until the front passes. So we'll write many days of rain until the front passes. So we know that after the front passes, our weather's going to start to clear up. All right, so those are the three types of fronts that we have talked about today in our lessons. We talked about warm front. Remember, it's going to bring us warmer temperatures, but we are going to see some showers and stratus clouds. And then afterwards, we're going to have some clear weather. We have our cold front that's bringing us colder temperatures and stormy weather, high wind, storms, possibly tornadoes if the weather conditions are right, but it's going to bring us cooler temperatures. And then a stationary front that's bringing us steady rain. And then after many days of rain, it's going to start to clear up. So it's very similar to our warm front. All right, until next time, bye.